Okay. If we could bow our heads and remember we're in the presence of the Lord. Heavenly Father, as we gather here this evening, we ask you for the wisdom to make the right decisions. We pray before you for all of those who are in parts of our country who are suffering through severe weather conditions. We ask that you protect their families and keep them safe. And we want to pray for those who are traveling abroad, especially our athletes who will soon compete in the Olympics, that you keep them safe under conditions which are troubled at this time. And we want to pray for those who continue to protect our country at home and abroad, and for our police and firemen here at home. For these and all blessings, in your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Councilwoman Black, would you lead us in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum this evening. Councilmember Stagney is absent, and Councilmember Brannigan is serving in the capacity of the acting mayor tonight. In accordance with Council Resolution Number B14550, please be advised that all cellular telephones, pagers, beepers, and other devices of this nature must be deactivated or silenced throughout the council meeting. Under the consent agenda this evening, we have, I'm sorry, sir. We're gonna, this evening, we received a request, sir, to take item 13A at the beginning of the meeting. If we could have a motion and a second on that.
Moved by Councilwoman DeFrances, second by Councilwoman Black. Sorry. Please vote.
Mr. Chairman, motion passes 5-0. Item 13A is a resolution appointing council member to be determined to serve as council president effective immediately.
Like to make a motion that Councilwoman Black be nominated.
Okay.
Second by Councilwoman DeFrances. Please vote.
Mr. Chairman, motion passes 5-0.
Okay. Musical chairs.
Yeah. I'd like to thank my colleagues for their vote of confidence.
You will now be the acting
Do
mayor.
I have to sit in the mayor's chair? No. I'd rather serve as the council president.
You sure? The charter says that.
Is there anything in our charter that says I have to?
I think so, Keith.
I'm out of here.
The charter.
Well, it's up to Keith.
Yeah, you have to come in.
I'm sorry.
Kind of wanted the space.
Sorry about that.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, we've also received a request this evening to change the order of business to take item 13B at the beginning of the meeting.
Okay.
I just need a motion and a second.
Motion by Councilwoman DeFrances, second by Reno. Said that backwards.
Okay. Please vote. One more vote, please.
We wanted to change.
One more vote? No? Everybody voted?
Did you vote?
You voted, Keith?
I'm blinking. Everybody's blinking.
Okay, stay where you're at. Mr. Chairman, motion passes 5-0. Item 13B is a resolution appointing council member to be determined to serve as council vice president effective immediately.
Councilwoman DeFrances, you have the floor. Okay, mic control. Somewhere on here. Sorry about that.
I still don't have, oh, finally it came on. I'm sorry. I would like to nominate Councilwoman Michelle Brannigan to serve as Council Vice President. Before I do that, I would like to also mention that Councilwoman Black and Councilwoman Brannigan, this is their last term. I think they've done a phenomenal job as council people at large, and I just wanted to commend them for their service to the people of Kenner.
Motion by Councilwoman DeFrances, second by Councilmember Moreno. Please vote. And now we can do musical chairs.
One more vote, please. Mr. Chairman, motion passes 5-0.
I did. Did you hear me? I still have my mic on, Council President.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read the consent.
First of all, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, and I'm not going to talk about it because I'll just start crying. You look good there, Jeannie.
Think I should stay here?
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, the consent agenda this evening. Item 1 is approval of minutes, the regular council meeting of December 19, 2013. Item 2 is approval of alcoholic beverage permit applications. Item 2A is a resolution granting an alcoholic beverage permit to Divine Mercy Catholic Church on January 25, 2014 at 4119 St. Elizabeth Drive in Kenner, Louisiana. Item 3 is approval of bingo and public gathering applications. Item 3A is application number 1786-13, Divine Mercy Roman Catholic Church to hold a public gathering for the purpose of a cook-off and car show fundraiser on January 25, 2014, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 4119 St. Elizabeth Drive in Kenner, Louisiana. Item 3B is application number 1788-13, Driftwood Park Civic Association to hold a public gathering for the purpose of the Driftwood Parade on February 15, 2014, from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. through various streets in the city of Kenner. Item 3C is application number 1789-14, St. Elizabeth Ann Seton School to hold a public gathering for the purpose of a Mardi Gras parade for grades pre-K and kindergarten on February 28, 2014, from 1:15 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. at 4119 St. Elizabeth Drive in Kenner, Louisiana. Item 3D is application number 1790-14, the City of Kenner to hold a public gathering for the purpose of a farmer's market on the first and third Saturday of January through December of 2014, from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. at 410 Williams Boulevard in Kenner, Louisiana.
I have a motion by Councilmember Brannigan, second by Councilmember Reyno on consent. Council members, please vote.
Madam Chairman, motion passes 5-0. Item 9, under the public appearance agenda this evening, we have item 9, public hearings for final passage. Item 9A is a public hearing regarding resolution number B16418, a resolution authorizing the City Council for the City of Kenner to hold a public hearing to determine whether or not the building located at 1034 31st Street, Kenner, Louisiana, should not be repaired or demolished. Madam Chairman, we've received a request this evening to indefinitely defer this item.
Motion by Councilmember Brannigan, second by Councilmember DeFrancis for an indefinite deferral. Council members, please vote. I'm sorry. At least I didn't give it to Councilman 1A. Yeah. So we will put down Councilmember Carroll, second by Councilmember DeFrancis for an indefinite deferral. Council members, please vote.
Madam Chairman, motion passes 5-0. Item 9B is a public hearing regarding resolution number B16429, a resolution authorizing the City Council for the City of Kenner to hold a public hearing to determine whether or not the building located at 3715 East Louisiana State Drive, Kenner, Louisiana, should not be repaired or demolished.
Motion by Councilmember DeNapolis, second by Councilmember DeFrancis to open public hearing. Council members, please vote.
Madam Chairman, motion passes 5-0.
We're now in a public hearing regarding Resolution Number B 16429. Is there anyone from the audience wishing to address the council on this subject matter? Please come forward.
Good evening. My name is Amy Vallow. I'm the new Director of Code Enforcement, and I'm going to go ahead and give a presentation with regard to 3715 East Louisiana State Drive. The structure in question is a pile-supported slab structure bearing the municipal address of 3715 East Louisiana State Drive. The property is owned by Juan Fernandez. On October 16, 2013, it was determined that this property was unsafe and dangerous under the building codes for the City of Kenner, as well as Section 5-57 at all of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Kenner. On October 31, 2013, a notice was sent certified mail to the property owners advising them of the property and building violations. The address is found by a search engine. After the certified mail was returned unclaimed and being unable to locate the property owner, our curator was appointed by the city. As of this date, the violations have not been corrected, nor have there been any attempts to comply. The city has been maintaining the property for several years, and there is currently an amount owed of $11,949.81 to the City of Kenner. The City of Kenner has also contacted the services of an engineer, and it is noted by the report of the engineer retained by the City of Kenner, who provided the following reasons of inadequate maintenance, dilapidation, and abandonment. Power is disconnected, reminiscence of blue tarps covering the roof but are ripped. Portions of the roof shingles are missing, and damage to the roof sheathing can be seen, thus exposing the interior of the structure to the elements. Some of the doors and windows are secured or boarded. The board covering the rear sliding glass door has been pried open, thus allowing access to the interior. Numerous sections of siding have fallen off and are missing. Numerous areas of soffit and fascia are rotten, damaged, or missing. Based on the report of the engineer, the structure is a serious public hazard due to access into the structure from the back door, and recommends that the city takes the steps necessary to declare it a public nuisance and have it abated by demolition or brought up to current city codes and ordinances.
Thank you. And I guess now would be an appropriate time to say welcome.
Thank you very much.
And the curator, please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Sophie Rosado of the Rosado Law Firm, which is located at 3005 Harvard Avenue, Suite 102 in Metairie, Louisiana, 7006. I was appointed as the curator to locate Mr. Juan Fernandez. I ran an internet background search on Intellius. I was unable to make contact with Mr. Fernandez on any of the phone numbers that were provided by that search. I then mailed letters to all 10 addresses provided by the Intellius search. Of the 10 certified letters that were mailed, all were returned unclaimed. Not convinced the named defendant had been found, I ran an ad in the Times-Picayune stating anyone knowing the whereabouts of Juan Fernandez concerning property rights, please contact attorney Sophie Rosado at 504-534-5494. To date, I have not received any phone calls regarding this property, and those are the steps that I took in locating Mr. Juan Fernandez.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone else wishing to address the council? Motion by Councilmember DeNapolis, second by Councilmember DeFrancis to close public hearing. Council members, please vote.
Madam Chairman, motion passes 5-0.
Motion by Councilmember DeNapolis, second by Councilmember DeFrancis. Councilmember DeNapolis.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank Code, and I also want to thank the curator, for her diligent work. Obviously, we want to do everything correctly, and it's right by law to find out who these rightful landowners are. But once again, this is one of those pieces of property that, that just must come down. The owner cannot be bound, and this is going to be absolutely a great relief for that 3700 block of East Louisiana State. So once again, I would like to put a motion that that the house be demolished within the terms allowed by law. Help me out here, Mr.
That's fine,
That's fine. Motion to,
within the delays allowed by law.
right, okay. And I would appreciate, and once again, Amy, you're going to have a good task because we still have probably about 70 properties, 60, 70 properties still throughout Kenner that, that we're targeting. Kenner's going to be tough on these properties. We're going to go after them. Once again, this property already has cost the taxpayers of Kenner $11,000, and it's probably going to wind up costing us another $5,000 to $8,000 to tear it down, but at least that blight will be out of that neighborhood, and hopefully we can actually sell that lot at a sheriff's sale and get some of our money back. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay. Seeing no further discussion, please vote.
Madam Chairman, motion passes 5-0. Item 10 is opening of bids. We have none. Item 11 is reclassification of zoning for final passage. We have none. Item 12 is other ordinances for final passage. We have none. Item 13 is resolutions and motions by council members. Item 13A was taken earlier. Item 13B was taken earlier. Item 13C is a resolution appointing L.I. Mahad and Buddy Cambus to the City of Kenner Board of Zoning and Adjustments.
Motion by Councilmember Brannigan, second by Councilmember Carroll. Are either of those gentlemen in the audience? Would you stand and be recognized? Thank you very much for your service. Appreciate it. Okay, seeing no further discussion, council members, please vote.
Madam Chairman, motion passes 5-0. Item 14 is items removed from the consent agenda.
We have none.
Item 15 is acceptance of contracts and similar matters approved by the mayor. Item 15A is summary ordinance number 11,643, an ordinance accepting the responsive bid received from Duhon Machinery Company Incorporated in the amount of $24,000 for the purchase of one Towmaster T24 Beaver Tail style tag-along trailer or equal in accordance with sealed bid number 13-6188 for the Department of Public Works.
Motion by Councilmember Carroll, second by Councilmember DeNapolis. Council members, please vote.
Madam Chairman, motion passes 5-0. Item 15B is summary ordinance number 11,644. An ordinance accepting the responsive bid received from Economical Janitorial and Paper Supplies, LLC, for a 2-year contract to supply the City of Kenner with janitorial supplies on an as-needed basis in accordance with sealed bid number 13-6183 and an amount not to exceed $70,000 annually.
Motion by Councilmember Brannigan, second by Councilmember DeFrancis. Council members, please vote.
Madam Chairman, motion passes 5-0. Item 15C is summary ordinance number, summary ordinance number 11,645. An ordinance accepting the responsive bid received from Rotolo Consultants Incorporated in the amount of $1,046,161 base bid for the Laketown Median Beautification Project, Vintage Drive to Laketown, in accordance with seal bid number 13-6182 for the Department of Public Works.
Motion by Councilmember Reyno, second by Councilmember Brannigan. Councilmember Reyno.
Thank you, Madam President. First of all, I want to say amen. Mr. McConnell, the funding for this is coming out of the Laketown.
Hotel motel tax.
Right.
Right.
So, and this is not part of the corridor redevelopment that on the bonds or anything. This is
No, this is
something
separate-
that was totally separate.
Correct.
This is really great. We've been working on this for a long time. Before I was even elected, I know they've been working on this. So just want to thank everybody, the administration and the council members and all, and ask for your support. Thank you.
Seeing no further discussion, council members, please vote.
Madam Chairman, motion passes 5-0. Item 16 is ordinances and resolutions in summary for first reading. Item 16A is an ordinance approving change order number 1, final, to the contract with Task Force LLC regarding repairs to the Laketown Fishing Pier for the Department of Parks and Recreation. Item 16B is an ordinance authorizing the purchase of 10 2014 Ford Police Interceptor utility vehicles from Lamarck Ford utilizing Jefferson Parish contract number 55-000137770 in an amount of $274,130 for the Kenner Police Department. Item 16C is an ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid received from Pro Tech Sales for the purchase of one Cobham Frisia covert audio-video surveillance recording system or equal in accordance with letter bid number 13-1508 in the amount of $12,848 for the Decatur Police Department. Item 16D is an ordinance accepting the responsive bid received from New Arrow Industries Incorporated, doing business as Arrow Fence, for an annual contract to furnish and install fencing in accordance with seal bid number 13-6185, and an amount not to exceed $150,000 per year for the Department of Parks and Recreation. Item 17 is reports from the council and our special committees. Yes, ma'am, it's $150,000.
Are there any reports? Nobody? Okay.
Item 18 is new business. We have none. Item 19 is unfinished business and are motions to reconsider or remove from a tabled position.
We have none.
We have none. Item 20, persons wishing to address the council on special subject matters.
Mr. Jack Ziwi?
Good evening. Congratulations, Jenny. I'd like to wish each of you a blessed new year. My name is Jack Ziwi, 3221 Illinois in Kenner. Councilman Denopolis asked me not to talk. He said the meeting would be shorter. Standing up for what is right and speaking out on what is wrong is not a bad thing unless you live in Kenner. There has been a persistent rumor put out by this administration that I have submitted hundreds of public records requests and that I am somehow terrorizing this city government. Well, that would be fiction. Reality is I've submitted a total of 9 public records requests for all of 13, 4 of which remain open. That's 9 total. The Louisiana Supreme Court has already ruled that there can be no limit to the number of public records requests. My 2013 records requests included documents related to the illegal sewer repairs on a private property of Mr. Jeff Zapata. The city is now suing Mr. Zapata for recovery of those repairs. Documents related to Code Director Shaw's verbal attack on me at a council meeting. That remains open. February of 2013. Documents related to salaries of city employees remains open. Documents related to Taylor Power electrical licensing. Employment records for Ms. Gotro. We kind of know where that went. Documents related to the 1992 Chevy makeover. That was only requested by me after Mr. Buson provided a false public record to the news media. Third-party code inspections. The results of that was given to Parish President John Young. It took him 2 weeks to fix that problem. Documents related to Kenner Fire Department's payroll records. A portion of that remains open. And documents related to the City of Kenner's occupational license holders. Now, in fairness to Mr. Conley, he's offered to help me on this one. So hopefully we can work together and get this one resolved. Somehow, a private citizen who decides to get involved in city government and maybe asking some questions makes that citizen some type of wacko paper terrorist. That's a quote. In the eyes of this administration, I ask that this council answer the simple question, why? What have I done to warrant this type of harassment by administration where I've lived for 37 years? Is this an extreme paranoia on their part or something else? What does administration have to hide? I respectfully ask that this council take a leadership role and request that this administration fully comply with the Public Records Act and produce the requested public documents as prescribed by law. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ziwi. Mr. Al Morella.
Al Morella, 4260 East Loyola Drive, 5th District, 42 years. I got some comments, but I see Councilman Stagney's not here, and neither is the mayor. So I'm going to defer the comments I have for them, Mayor Yenny. I'm going to defer the comments I have for them till the next meeting. I got a comment for you, Councilwoman DeFrances. I want to respond to a comment you made back at the December 5th meeting. when we was discussing the two contracts with Digital Engineering and Hartman Engineering, and you were saying that you all didn't have anything to do with that. You was going by the recommendation of Jose Gonzalez here. Well, I think what you need to do, Councilwoman DeFrances, is review that charter change, that referendum that the voters approved back here, giving discretion to this council to vote on those type of contracts, $100,000 or more. Now, this leads me to a question, and this question I want to direct to you, Jose Gonzalez. Given that this council and the mayor weigh heavily on your recommendations for contracts such as these and the one with Linfield, Hunter, and Jonas at the last council meeting, I would like to ask you, Mr. Gonzalez, what if a company submitted an SOQ to this government, to you and this council and this administration, and they had the best qualifications out of anybody who was in the running for a contract, but they made no campaign contributions to no one down here? My question is, what kind of recommendation would you give to a company like that? Second, I understand there was 13 other companies that was vying for this contract that Linfield, Hunter, and Jonas got. Tom-Picayune had to issue a public records request to get who they were. And they shouldn't have to do that. These companies should have been posted so the public could know who they are. Could it be that some of them may be the subcontractors that they plan on bringing in here? Because I understand there may be several layers of subcontractors. Okay? Now, question for you, Councilman Denopoulos. I want to know where the mayor's 2013 plan, where University City, the Loyola track, fits into the mayor's 2030 plan. That Loyola track, I'm talking about Tulane Drive, East Louisiana State, East Loyola, the other side on the west side, has some of the most deplorable streets in the city of Kenner. And I want to know where University City fits in with this 2030 plan. Now, I want to know also, I understand that the new show that opened back here, and they got accolades at the last meeting. I don't doubt that it is a beautiful facility. But there's a lot of people back here that haven't been there, don't even know that there's a bar up in there. Now, I want to know if the liquor licenses came through this council, and where does our ABO board fit in with the liquor that's being served up there in the new show in the Grand Theater?
All right, Mr. Morella, could you wrap it up because your time's up?
I'm wrapping it up right now. Anybody got any comments, any questions for me?
I don't know, but I do have some people's lights on who you have addressed, so perhaps they want to respond.
Go ahead, I'll stay right here.
All right, I have Councilmember DeFrancis.
Mr. Morella, I think we have to go back a little bit. Most of the projects to which you are referring were started under the previous Director of Public Works, and that was Mr. Pratt Reddy. So we need to start there. And did they go around to speak to all the councilmen about some of their ideas about, exactly what the projects would entail, the cost? We were sent information even before this council had any vote at all on those contracts. So I wanted to put that in perspective. And the companies that Mr. Pratt Reddy suggested for many of those projects, he would talk to the council members and say, at least in my case, I can tell you this, that he would suggest that I think this would be a good idea for this, for this engineering company or that company to do it because I think they have the expertise, they've been in the city a long time, et cetera. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention. And many of these were very old and in place long before that. I would also like to remind you that this council, including myself, voted so that this council would have to give approval for contracts over $100,000. But let me put it in perspective what that ordinance states. It does not state that we negotiate the contract. It does not state that we pick the companies. It does not indicate that we pick the engineers. None of that, not the design firm, nothing. None of that comes before the council. What we have to do is look at the contract once it comes to us and see if it seems like a viable contract and if we believe that the companies involved are reputable companies. So basically, all we do is have a yes or no vote based on the contract that's presented to us. Neither I nor any of these council members pick those companies. But we do have a voice in saying, no, that's not a reputable company. I understand they had a problem in another district, or things of that nature, so we don't want to vote on it. But again, it's a yes or no vote. It is not that we negotiate those contracts. And I wanted to make that very clear, because remember, we all voted. It was a unanimous vote for us to have the ability to review those contracts. And we take that seriously. We take that very seriously, and we do review the contracts. And we do ask questions prior to the meeting about the companies and whether they're, again, I hate to repeat myself, whether they're viable companies, whether they've had problems. And again, we do rely on our experts. Jose Gonzalez, I have total faith in, as I did in Pratt Reddy. When he comes to me, and he'll tell you, I call him a lot. And I ask a lot of questions. I think he'll back me up on that. We've had multiple meetings this week alone on other issues. So I have no problem asking questions. I believe in facts. I believe in information. I don't think any intelligent person should vote on something without doing due diligence and doing their homework, and I try very hard to do it. And I would have to believe that my fellow councilmen feel the same way as I do about it. Thank you.
Thank
I got any time left, Michelle?
No, I gave you extra time.
That's fine. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Walt Benetti.
Nobody else?
Thank you.
Nobody else?
Nobody else is signed up to speak, no. Mr. Walt Benetti.
Trying. Thank you, Councilwoman Brannigan. First off, I hope that everyone from the on the council and within the city and the administration had a great Christmas and New Year's. I'd like to welcome our new code enforcement director. I hope to learn more about her Monday at our code enforcement committee meeting.
And Mr. Benetti, I know you know this, but your
I'm
name and
sorry.
address for the record.
I'm sorry.
No, that was
I
great.
was trying to spread some good cheer.
You did very well.
Walt Benetti, 3009 Illinois Avenue in Councilman Stagney's district, and even though Councilman Stagney isn't here, I'm still going to speak. Over the Christmas holidays, I received an email with a link to an article about something that I was not aware of. The article appeared in the November 8th, 2012 edition of the St. Charles Herald Guide. The article is titled, "Kenner Failed to Pay Parish $740,000 in Airport Taxes." And the parish says they've been aware of that issue since 2009. My question was anyone on the council aware of that the city wrote a check for $740,079.59 to St. Charles Parish for back taxes. The article also states that there was some dispute from St. Charles Parish that they believed that they were not confident that the amount paid by the city was correct, and that they were going to work with the city to determine the correct amounts that they were owed. I wondered if that was resolved and to the satisfaction of St. Charles Parish. I was also curious as to how the city, which according to Mayor Yenny, and sadly he's not here either, has stated that the city was in such dire financial straits that he needed to attempt to double property taxes, close playgrounds to attempt to balance the budget, and take on the largest debt in Kenner's history, could immediately write a check for $740,000. When I have not been able to see any line item in the Kenner budget for past years stating that money was held in escrow for St. Charles Parish. So if the council could address that or get that information for me or answer that, I would appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Benetti. That's it?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
I'm sorry, can Mr. McConnell go first? Mr. DeCarroll, I failed to see your, okay, very good. All right, Mr. McConnell.
Yeah, the payments to St. Charles Parish he's referring to is, in 1985, the city signed an agreement with St. Charles Parish and the city of New Orleans for that airport expansion, and the agreement called for St. Charles Parish to receive 15.5% of the sales tax that we get in the airport for them letting that runway go into St. Charles Parish. That money is set aside each month as we get our sales tax from the sheriff's office, and that payment was to get caught up on the payments to them. We had some issues with the reporting as to the amounts, but all that was resolved, and St. Charles Parish was paid their portion of that sales tax per that agreement.
And his second question was St. Charles concurred with us on the,
Yeah, they've accepted the payment being up to date, and, you know, we're back on regular schedule with that.
Very good. Okay. All right, Councilmember Carroll.
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you, Mr. McConnell. That's basically what's going to be my question. You know, one, to answer Mr. Benetti, no, I was not aware of that. Obviously, this predates my position on the council, so thank you for that information. It's good to know that, you know, this was a set aside to be able to pay from the taxes. And he also mentioned the fact that they had some question about the amount. Was it enough? Are there any litigation that you believe will go on because they feel that they have not been given enough money based on the agreement from '85?
The amounts that they get is determined by what the sheriff reports to us, and St. Charles has been given copies of the reports that we received from the sheriff that does the calculation.
Okay, so in your opinion, they are satisfied with those amounts?
Yeah, they have not come back and said anything. We have paid them this, you know, subsequent years, and it's based on the reports. They have not come back and said that they have any issues with it.
And they've cashed the check? Put it
Oh, yeah,
in-
they cashed the check.
Okay, that's a good indication right there. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Madam President.
I wanted to expound on that just a little bit, that I too was not aware of it, but there's often things that we're not aware of that are administrative functions that are called to our attention, either when one of us comes across it in the financials, which are given to us by the administration on a basis throughout the year, or two, if it's in somebody's district and it's something of interest to one of their constituents or themselves, they bring it to our attention, or three, when there's constituents who have been following an issue or may have, you know, ties to another place, such as St. Charles, that would bring it to our attention. So not having known about it, it would be uncommon for us to know everything administratively that's going on that either as a conflict or just as a matter of practice what is happening on a day-to-day basis. But thank you. The other thing I wanted to ask to, I think, then address all the questions Mr. Morella had to our code enforcement, and I don't know if our new code enforcement director is aware or if Mr. Conley would have to answer. Are there permits that are being applied for and not yet granted for the new facility, movie theater to serve alcohol?
None that I know of, but we'll check into it.
Okay. So perhaps we can get that answer next time. I know that there's a place that appears that there will be a bar there, so I would assume that they would have thought that far ahead to make application or have made application for that. Okay, Councilmember DeNapolis.
All right. And one more question, just to kind of follow a couple of things. The sales tax reporting that we get from you, by the way, you know, Duke, we get tons of paperwork from you and tons of reporting, and we appreciate that. So basically, the figure that we get, that we collect from Jefferson Parish, the 15, whatever the percentage that we have to, it's in that money, it's in that amount that you report to us, right?
Yeah, the money is set aside each month.
Right.
So, you know, Mr. Benetti implied that we just all of a sudden came up with this money.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to clear up,
Money had been set aside every
right.
month as we collected it.
Right.
It's a matter of paying it.
Correct, so.
It was money we were holding that belonged to St. Charles Parish. It wasn't our money.
That's correct. So, I mean, we see that money, we see that reporting in those reports that you send to us on the monthly
Yes.
tax collection. So it's not hidden from the public at all. And that's the point I wanted to try to make.
This is
okay?
for an agreement that the council passed years ago. And
Absolutely.
every year we make our payment.
Way before, when they were expanding the airport, that's correct. Way before our time, but however, that reporting does show up on quarterly and monthly reports, and we see that money, but however, we're not knowing that 15% goes to St. Charles Parish, but the money is there, it's reported, showing as a figure, so nothing's being hid from the public at all. Thank you. It's just an obligation that we have to pay. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember DeNapolis. Mr. Conley, you have your light on. What was that from previous? I see the mayor has his light on as well, but your light's on, but so you.
I was going to respond to the
Okay, so you don't want to speak now? You want me to?
to Mr. Ziwi's comments about the public record request. I know since I've been here, there've been over 100 public record requests from Mr. Ziwi. I thought we were caught up. I'm pretty sure some of the ones he stated he has not received have been vetted through our office, and I thought he had received them. I'll follow up on that. I'm really the only one in the legal department that handles public record requests, so there are some time constraints, and I think we communicate that well to people that request records. Also, he mentioned some litigation with Mr. Zapata. We are not in any litigation with Mr. Zapata. Mr. Zapata had an issue on his property, that some damage due to the fault of another that has now been concluded. The city's been made whole for any money that we might have been out, and that litigation is over. But I will get, Mr. Ziwi, I guarantee I'll get the comments you made tonight, and I'll follow up on the open, the ones you claim are still open, and we'll get some resolution to it.
Thank you, Mr. Conley. Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Just to put on my administrative hat right now, I just would like to remind everyone, Mr. Morello and Mr. Ziwi and Mr. Bonetti, that the council doesn't always know everything that's going on with the administration. The mayor's job and the administration is to run the city, and our job is a legislative group. And so there are a lot of things that go on in the mayor's office that if he had to tell the council every single thing that went on, it would impede on progress in the mayor's office. The red tape and the paperwork would be excessive. I've been on the council since 1994, and I always have worked with 5 mayors. I've always been pleased with the job that I did not have to run the administrative department. I did not want to micromanage the mayor's office. So just on behalf of the mayor's office and the administration, they do their job. The council, as a legislative body, does their job. So I just want to set that straight when we say, well, we didn't know this was going on, or we didn't know that was going on. I think that the employees and all the other work comes under the auspices of the mayor, and we are, as I said again, a legislative body. So thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Okay. Okay, Councilmember DeFrancis, has a very quick announcement.
Thank you. Again, Happy New Year to everyone, but I have a quick announcement. I was asked to give this announcement. Chateau Garden Club will be holding their annual fundraiser on Saturday, January 25th, 2014, from 6:30 to 9:30 at Chateau Golf and Country Club. Tickets are on several levels, beginning with $50. Proceeds from this fundraiser helps the club to continue their upkeep of the flower beds in Chateau Estates. Just simply to say that they maintain and plant at no cost to the city or the taxpayers approximately 13 beds. And so if the city had to do that, we would have to just eliminate all of them and basically plant grass. So this fundraiser is so that they can help to maintain those flower beds at no cost to the people of Kenner. Thank you.
Councilmember DeNapolis, do you have a quick announcement as well? I have 10 minutes. No, you have 3 minutes, and you already had them.
No, it's short. Thank you for asking, Mother. Anyway, go Saints. That's all I have to say. Thanks.
That was a good one. Okay, there being no further business, meeting is adjourned.